He was about to carry out the sniper mission on the president. The longest confirmed sniper range in the world is 3,540 meters. But this time, he needed to shoot from a distance of 3,815 meters. The bullet would take 7 seconds to reach the target. This meant he had to predict the target's exact position and fire at that moment in the future. He only had 10 seconds. As soon as the target appeared, bodyguards immediately raised their binoculars, searching for the sniper, but he remained still holding his gun, deliberately creating a reflection to catch their attention, waiting for their gazes to land on him. Once they confirmed his identity was exposed, he would then put the sniper rifle in his briefcase, load a time bomb, and activate the fire alarm system to leave the scene. Next, he walked to the car that was already prepared, started it up, and drove off, passing right by some police officers. By the time the police reached the building, he had quietly arrived at the parking lot where his backup car was parked, because he had already hidden the real escape vehicle. After switching cars, he immediately blew up the previous vehicle, leaving the scene. When the SWAT team entered, they received the gift he left for them. A massive explosion destroyed all fingerprints and evidence. He had vanished without a trace, like a ghost. That night, he had already reached the border. By now, the police had set up strict checkpoints, even stricter than before, but he had prepared for this, disguised as an antique collector. He bought an exquisite chessboard. When the police checked him, he cleverly used the chessboard to distract them, successfully diverting their attention. Not long after, he passed the checkpoint without issue. The next day, he arrived in Paris, France. A full day had passed, but he still hadn't received the remaining payment. So he went to an internet cafe, logged into the dark web, and urged the client to pay the remaining balance. A few hours passed, but he still got no response. He couldn't help but apply more pressure. The client told him to check the account in 24 hours. At that moment, he suddenly received a new contract. The client had found him. Having heard about his reputation, the news of the president's assassination had spread. The client was willing to offer a large sum, but demanded a face-to-face meeting. He firmly rejected the offer. However, the client raised the reward to $10 million. Faced with such an enticing amount, the wolf finally broke his own principle, but he demanded a $1 million fee for the meeting, non-refundable, regardless of whether they continued to work together. To his surprise, the client quickly agreed. Soon after, the deposit was transferred. He arrived at the specified location ahead of time. When he saw the client, he quietly followed behind.
Who's the target? Wait up, Charles. Can you get to him? I mentioned the guy price of $10 million. Not part of my telling about conversation.
Upon hearing the name, he immediately raised his demand from $10 million to $100 million, because the target was one of the most watched people in the world.
Well, I'd have to consult my colleagues about that.
It seems she wasn't the actual decision maker. The meeting ended there. Afterwards, he went to a secret hideout, safely stored his weapons, and changed into business attire to meet his wife. At that moment, he completely lowered his guard, but after 24 hours, he still hadn't received the final payment. He asked the client again, only to receive an unexpected response. This was a huge insult to him. Next, he would become the wolf's next target.